Did you know that your right eye is fluent in English and your left eye isn't? Let me explain. If you look at a brain, it kind of just looks like a tangled mess, but it's actually pretty compartmentalized. What that means is that parts of the brain are pretty specialized and tasks aren't just distributed equally throughout the brain. And for most people, language faculties are stored here on the left side of your brain. So why does that mean your right eye is fluent in English? And how can an eye be fluent in English? Well, the information that comes into your right eye is actually processed by a part of your brain that's on the left side. And this part isn't far from the language parts of the brain. That's why when you look at stuff, you immediately know the word for it. Now I know what you're thinking. You can do the same thing with your left eye. You can just close your right eye and look around and still describe everything. But technically, that's because your brain is cheating. The two halves of your brain are actually completely separate except for this tiny little piece called the corpus callosum. So when you close your right eye and you're still able to describe stuff, it's because the information is traveling from your left eye back here and then traveling across the corpus callosum to your language part. But in some people with severe epilepsy, that corpus callosum can cause problems, so they actually just snip it. And the thing is, it actually doesn't cause that many problems to have that severed. Again, that's because brains aren't one unified thing. They're actually pretty compartmentalized. However, if you ask somebody with the severed corpus callosum to do this experiment and describe their surroundings, it's different. They often cannot describe in words the things that they see with their left eye. That's because the information is going to the right half of their brain and then it's not allowed to cheat and cross over the corpus callosum. So the language part of their brain has no idea what they're seeing. It's kind of like you have two people in your head and the one over here is kind of cheating by looking at the answers of this guy. But if you put a divider in between them like they do for standardized tests sometimes, then they can't cheat. Then you can see which side really knows English.